Yeah, he'll be out this week, and then hopefully get him back for next week. I think it'll be day to day after this week.
You played all but like one snap. Do you know when when it actually happened?
Yeah, earlier in the game than most mortal humans could take, I think. I mean, he's such an impressive guy. I didn't really know it had happened. He didn't say much about it until after, and then obviously was dealing with it after the game. But it was early in the game when it happened. He just played through it and had a heck of a game once again.
How did he do that?
What's that?
How was he able to do that if it's on my ankles? Those are killers.
I mean, you've watched him play the game. I don't know. He's got a different level of passion, crazy, whatever it takes, man. The way he plays the game, each and every snap, the way he practices, it's unique to the sport, and it's an honor to be on the field with him. But it's impressive that.
It was 2 to 3 weeks for him. Is this how encouraging is it if you think he could be back in 2?
Yeah, I mean, we need him. There's no doubt. I mean, he's an eraser back there. He's one of the best players in the league and a great leader as well. So we definitely need him back as soon as possible.
As coaches, you have to grind and constantly. Do you ever get in the thing where you sit when something happens, you go, "Oh my goodness, what's next?" It's gonna stop.
No, it's just part of the league, and you understand that. I think times like this when you get a chance as a coach to really grow and see how good of a coach you are. Anybody can coach all-star teams. It's one of those deals when you have things that come up and you got to adapt and maximize your personnel and who it is. It's an opportunity to grow as a coach and a coaching staff, and that's the approach we're taking.
What's the thought process in terms of what you do not having him on the field? Is it using Isaiah back there more, possibly? Is it how do you approach that?
We're going to work through it this week. I mean, we'll have a good plan for it. Obviously, getting Chris Banjo back a couple weeks ago, Chuck hopefully feels great this week, and then Isaiah, like you said, just finding the best answer. You don't replace a guy like that, but trying to find the best answer to try to kind of supplement and do what we can do at that position.
Does Washington have a chance to be ready to go, even though he's just activated today?
We have to see how he feels throughout the week. Yeah, he was out there today for the walkthrough, but we'll put pads on tomorrow and see how he feels.
Seeing Buddha's speech in the trailer that was released on Hard Knocks, what you touched on a little bit, but what has he meant to the defense? How much of a loss is it this week not having him?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, when you watch the film this year, I think he's playing as good as anybody at any position in the league. I mean, week in, week out, the effort, the hustle plays. I mean, his attention to detail, the stuff he's doing to get us lined up on the back end, it's just been elite. And it's tough loss and tough for him, but he means a lot to this place, and he'll still be around in the next couple of weeks and helping us out. But, yeah, you can't replace a guy like that on the field.
You said on Monday that you went all fire and brimstone like a month ago. What does fire and brimstone Kliff Kingsbury look like?
I mean, we'll save that for the Hard Knocks, I guess. But, no, it's just you have to pick your spots, and I think it's just being real with ourselves. And I'm the first one to point the finger at me and do a better job of coaching offensively and scheming and maximizing our personnel, all those things, and then players and coaches and everybody, we got to take accountability, and that's all that was just look in the mirror type speech, and then you try to get better. But for whatever reason, we haven't reached the level we all know we can play at. And the one thing you don't want to do as a competitor is underachieve an entire season. I kind of think that's where we've been, and it's time to get over it.
Was it a one-time speech or is it something?
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I pick my spots. I don't want to be the guy who's just constant yelling and screaming and cussing, and that loses its effect. So I think when you got to have that talk, and then you move forward and just continue trying to work to get better.
He handled the stress of this season. You look back at our last season finish. Has this been a different kind of stress?
No, I mean they're all the same. I just, like I said, I'm very stay in the present and try to get better each day. That's how I've always approached it. I mean, there's only so much you can control, and do the best job you can do, and go from there. And the toughest part is when you have really good players, good leadership, good team, and for whatever reason, things just haven't fallen into place yet. But that's this league, and it can turn in a week, and our guys understand that.
With the issues on the offensive line and the injuries that you deal with, does that impact greatly what you want to do offensively, especially against a guy like Aaron Donald? Does it change maybe how you would approach a game like this?
Yeah, I think it changes any game you go into with that many pieces out, but particularly you're playing one of the best defensive players in the history of the league, and he's as good as he's ever been. And so it's whatever plan people have when we're going in, it never seems to work, and we'll do the best job we can of making sure we know where he's at on every snap, trying to contain him. But he's going to make his plays, and we understand that. And we just have to have a good plan in place to try and continue to stay on schedule and not let those plays just wreck the game, which they have in the past.
What's it look like at right guard going forward?
We're going to see. We're going to work through that. Obviously, Will will be out for a couple of weeks, and I thought Lasita stepped in and handled himself well for his first real NFL playing time. But there's a couple other guys we'll try to work through there, see if we get Max back, see if we get some other guys back, and go from there.
Is Josh Jones an option at all, or you just want to keep him attacking?
With the numbers down, don't really want to risk him going inside, fear of losing, the one backup tackle we have. But if it gets down to that, he's a guy who played it last year and could slide in and play.
How will you handle the Hard Knocks debut tonight? Will you watch it? Will you silence your phone? Go to bed?
Yeah, all of the above, probably. Yeah, I won't watch it. I'm sure I'll get some text about it. But once again, I think it's great for the players to be seen in that light. I mean, that's the one positive. I know there'll be some dramatic moments from the season and the building and the games, but I think just for our fans to see what these guys are as men, family men, fathers, sons, I think that's really important, and we got a great group of guys.
Has there been any more chatter from the players just knowing that today's the day that it's finally going to start rolling?
I haven't heard any. I'm sure there'll be some tomorrow, but I haven't heard any.
Do you get a heads up of what might be shown, just so you know what's coming?
Yeah, but I trust Mark Dalton. He's good at his job. So.
With the injuries on the offensive line, does it motivate you to get Kyler outside more on pass rollouts or those kinds of things where you might put pressure on the outside of it?
Yeah, the tough part is teams are also very smart, and they know, with those wide ends that we face, they know that that's something that you'd want to do, and so they're accounting for that. But yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that he feels comfortable and trying to get a clean pocket, get a clean throwing space for him to execute at a high level like he can, and we'll continue to try and find ways to do that.
The walkthroughs on Wednesday that you've had now a couple weeks in a row, is that because there's so many guys either out or limited in practice?
We had basically talked about doing it throughout the offseason as with our end of the year struggles, if you will, trying to keep guys healthy, keep them fresh in the back half of the season. But this definitely comes into play. The number of injuries we had, we didn't anticipate that, so we've dialed it back a little bit.
So curious, there was a bunch of questions Sunday about what happens in practice carrying over to games and all that and things. How difficult is it when you're practicing without a lot of guys? Only 2 really days of practice. How tough is that to get that continuity in practice to prepare for a game?
Yeah, it's tough when you're trying to take care of guys and at the same time get new pieces the reps. I mean, there's a fine line you walk, but that's why the walkthrough day has to be really intentional and focused, and you got to do as much as you can on those days to make it in a very dialed in, above the neck emphasis type situation.
The way Kyler fumbled the ball in the game, and then with building in the snaps, are those sort of coaching points you got to kind of go over again, or just kind of things that happen in that set?
No, you can't have those type of errors in a game like that. Obviously, the snap over your head on 3rd and 1, and then the snap the previous week on 3rd and 7, crucial situations that just they don't win football games in this league, and we understand that. And those are the things that on offense we got to continue to clean up and have really haunted us the entire season.
Kyler's always kind of carried the ball in that way when he's running, and a lot of times when he's running, he's not going to get hit because of the way he plays. If he's going to be in the middle of the field or doing some of those other things, does he have to adjust how he carries the ball?
Yeah, I mean, like I've always said, he's played a long time this style and been the smaller guy that has to protect himself and find the soft spot and know when to get down. So it's unfortunate it happened. I mean, he's been pretty good with it throughout his career so far. But, yeah, we've got to make sure that doesn't happen moving forward. A big play like that in that situation, he knows we got to find a way to hold on to that and score points and going into halftime.
Kliff, given the short nature in general of NFL head coaches with a team 4 years, just like the average now, what makes it so attractive of a job if you know you're hired and you're fired?
I feel like one of those live golfers right now. Do you want the honest answer? No, I think no. When you're in the profession, I mean, it's the highest level you can be at. And for me to come to work with guys that they've spent their entire lives trying to get here, working to get here, they're highly motivated every single day, that's a special environment. That's something that wakes you up in the morning. You get inspired to be around these guys and their stories and all those things. I've coached at the college level, incredible experience. You build amazing relationships. You get to mentor those kids, but there's no poking and prodding here. There's no trying to make them gain weight, wake them up in the morning. None of that. I mean, these guys are the cream of the crop, and to be around every day, I think pushes you to be a better version of yourself.
It's worth it.
Yes. Yes.
What was your reaction
Most
when you heard
days.
about Frank losing his job the other day? I know you've kind of gotten
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him. I think he does as good a job as anybody in the league. When you watch how he operates and you talk to him about the analytics part of it and how he manages and things like that, and it's just unfortunate. How it went, it didn't play out the way he wanted. He's been a phenomenal coach, won Super Bowl there with Philly as an assistant, and he'll get another shot. But I haven't met a better man in this league than Frank Reich, and I'm sure he'll land on his feet really quickly.
Does this kind of a season strain your relationship with Steve or Michael? I mean, is there more pressure on you from above?
No, it doesn't. I mean, those guys have been supportive. They understand it's a tough business, and we talk through things, have great communication, and I understand they have a job to do as well. And so that's never been an issue at all. We're all on the same page and have been since I got here. I mean, they took a chance on a fired head coach from college, and so we've always kind of had that as our basis, and we'll continue to work together and try to get this thing right.
Extra communication this week.
There always is. Yeah, there's always great communication. We sit with Michael and watch the film, VJ and I, every week, and so he has a great understanding of what we're trying to do and where we're falling short, and we take ownership for what we need to take ownership for and say what we're going to do moving forward. So the communication has been clear, and everybody's been great.
Is it pretty typical for head coach to watch the film with the owner?
I'm not sure how that goes other places. I've heard different people do it different ways, but it's been great for I think VJ and I to be able to show what we're trying to do. Here's the plan going forward, and here's how we're going to try to get this thing right.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you all.
Memories of the show from seasons past or anything that you think about?
I've honestly never really, I've seen like clips and stuff like that, but I haven't just sat down and just watched a season of Hard Knocks before.
Is it hard knowing that because they're going to be reliving the previous week that if you're coming off a loss, you kind of have to...
Yeah. That's why I said it's like, unfortunately, they came. Our season's been hasn't been the way we've wanted it to be. So probably a lot of bad football being shown on there.
What do
you guys need to do offensively this week against the Rams?
Again, I mean, divisional opponent, we know what they do. They've had our number, since we've been here. But at the same time, like I said, we know what they do. We know I feel like we have a great plan this week. Coverage-wise, we know what they're going to be in. Front-wise, we know what they're going to be in. Just got to execute, and that's just, that's been the moral of the story, is just haven't executed, shot ourselves in the foot many times. And to win games, you can't do that. So I feel like that's, the focus is on us. That's where the start is. It's, playing clean football. All the other stuff, worry about that later. Right now it's fundamental stuff. We've been bad at that stuff. So.
The high snaps with Billy, it seemed like he was frustrated in the last game. How you guys kind of worked through that in these last couple of weeks with those struggles?
I mean, it's not something he doesn't practice, so it's like I can't really, I'm not gonna jump his ass or anything like that during the game or anything. I know, it's a high intensity, a lot of pressure, stuff like that, but it's got to be better. He's capable of snapping. I'm not worried about snaps or anything like that. Just can't have those, situations happen.
You said, I think last week before, the guys don't make these mental errors and self-inflicted mistakes during practice. So why do you think they happen in the game? What is it about the game atmosphere situation that changes everything?
I don't know. That's one thing when you stress the details. You stress them, and you walk through the stuff, and you know them like the back of your hand. It's easier in the game when you don't, or you got guys that are in and out and stuff like that, and then you get in the game and stuff's going fast, and they're questioning what they have, or they're questioning what they do. And they're thinking. When you're thinking, it's a wrap. That's what I would tell and I think any football player knows that when you're thinking and you're not just playing off instincts and feel. Game starts to move fast, and at that point, the opposition has the upper hand.
Do you think? How do you think Kliff has been handling the last few weeks? Obviously, there's lots of chatter about him, all that. So, how do you think he handled it?
I mean, there's lots of chatter about all of us, I'm sure. I don't know if he sees it. I don't really see it. Try to stay away from all the negativity and stuff like that. Obviously, this has been a negative kind of season so far compared to last year. Obviously, when you set that expectation, you play well, and as well as we started early last year, everybody's going to feel that and expect that. So that's in a sense, that's we're going somewhere as far as the standard of how we should play football here. But at the same time, I don't think he's. I mean, I hope he's not feeling it. I hope he. I think he's fine. I haven't seen anything otherwise. I mean, obviously he's kind of fed up with losing, as all of us are. But at the same time, we got to keep going. Season's not over. Still got a chance. Take it week by week. So that's the mentality.
You with the Rams, and you were just saying, hey, we got to focus on ourselves.
Yep.
They're kind of in the same kind of boat. I mean, does that change the dynamic of this game at all when they're struggling just as much as you guys are?
I mean, Super Bowl champs, I'm sure they got a lot of, probably the same feelings that we got, and they just won a Super Bowl. We didn't win the Super Bowl, so I know their standard. I know how they, expect to play. What are they, 3-5? So no, I don't think it changes anything. I just think we focus on ourselves and let the chips fall where they may. All the uptightness or whatever people are feeling, the pressure and all that stuff, you got to throw that out the window because there really is no pressure. We're haven't played the way we want to play. We're 3-6. I don't see the pressure, and so that's kind of how I feel about it.
But there is a tendency for guys to put a little too much emphasis
on that too, and I think that's kind of. You could argue that that's been happening. So you got to let go of all that. Whoever's feeling that way, throw it out the window. Because, at the end of the day, we're playing football, And again, that's why I said, I don't know. I don't know.
I asked Kliff about the offensive line injuries and the pressure you've been under. Is there any thought to rolling you out and getting you outside of that pocket where you don't have that kind of pressure?
Yeah, I think I know, we haven't moved the pocket as much as we probably have in the past. Again, that's probably a question for them. I just do whatever I'm, asked to do. I'm not mad about it or anything like that. I understand, the pressure and stuff like that. It's definitely it's tough. It's tough. We gotta block better. Our guys know that. But at the same time, it's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Are you comfortable rolling out? And
Yeah.
getting
Cliff said he picks and chooses when he gets mad, when he yells, screams, curses. Because of his typical demeanor, do you think when he does that, it's more effective? Are guys surprised? What do you think the reaction is?
What? Say it again. Say it again.
When Cliff gets mad, or does he yell more than he says he does? Because he says he tries to pick and choose when he gets mad and yells and screams. He had a meeting about a month ago and kind of cursed the guys and yelled and screamed.
I don't think he likes to. I don't think that's his style of coaching. He's not he's players coach. He's not doesn't. I mean, he's played, so he kind of understands that. And he's dealt with it, so he put himself in his shoes when he was a player, and I think that's how he deals with it. But no, he doesn't usually. I don't see him cussing people out too often.
When he does, is it more effective because he doesn't do it all the time?
I haven't seen him cuss anybody out, really.
We saw Buda Baker, give a really passionate speech for the Hard Knocks preview. What was going through your mind? And was that after the Eagles game? I think it was.
Yeah, it was after the Eagles game. What was going through my mind?
Yeah, what was your thoughts? Just thoughts on
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember what number of loss that was for us, but same shit, I mean, we're all feeling it, Losing is not fun. Losing is not fun.
Do you and Cliff change up anything communication-wise, or just for the sake of just changing up this week, we try to just,
Nah, everybody's looking for these answers. I mean, the answer is do your job better, understand what you have to do, understand how we're blocking this protection, my drop, the depth on your route. There's no magic wand for the mistakes. It's really, all you got to do is do your job. I can live with me throwing a pick. I'm gonna be pissed off, but I can live with somebody dropping a ball, somebody missing a block, missing a cut. That's just gonna happen, So, but not knowing what you're doing, the mental mistakes and stuff like that just can't happen. We don't have a chance at that point. But everybody makes mistakes on Sundays. As far as like I said, missing blocks, doing stuff. Everybody throws picks. Everybody does that. That stuff's gonna happen. But the good teams don't make those mental errors. We're not making penalties and just doing stuff that's not it's not winning football. And I don't want to keep going on about it, but that we clean those things up, and you're probably not looking the way we are.
But the wristband went away last Sunday?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I don't know. I had no input on the wristband.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you like it or not?
It was cool. Yeah.
We're hearing from Hollywood these days. Is he anxious to get back out there?
Yeah. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose his stuff, but talk to him every day. So I mean, he's in good spirits. I know he's anxious to get back. Obviously, I'm not sure when that's going to be, but yeah, I'm excited for him whenever he does get back.
Thanks, Kyler.
Appreciate it.